Hi guys, part 2 of comparing the Glock to the XDM. Alright, now we're looking at slide releases. You watch part 1, it goes over everything else. Slide releases, okay, on the Glock, you have a stamped steel slide release. Very simple. You know, the grip really isn't there if you got really sweaty fingers. I prefer the XDM slide release. Sticks out a little bit more. There are aftermarket slide releases that you can get. The Glock is made out of, I believe it's a MIM part. But Springfield Armory, the MIM parts on their guns are very high quality. You know, when you see MIM on a gun, most people think, oh, what the hell is that? I hate that. It's MIM, if done correctly, is very, very durable. And Springfield Armory does not cut corners when it comes to their MIM parts. Other manufacturers like Taurus and High Point, some of their MIM parts are kind of crappy, and the density isn't all there. Okay, now we're looking at the trigger. The trigger on the XDM, we're going to pull that down, is literally, you pull the trigger, pulls the sear down, and pushes the firing pin safety release up. So instead of just having two parts, like the Glock does with the trigger bar and a connector, this has the trigger bar, and we're excluding the two springs in here too. It has the trigger bar, firing pin release, and the sear. Alright, and palm safety down here. Alright. Now the extractor or the ejectors are both stamped steel. The ejector on this is pinned in here so you can remove it. The ejector on this is part of the trigger housing, trigger group housing. You cannot remove the ejector too easily on a Glock. You're looking at the thickness of the XDM. Yeah, they appear to almost be, the XDM looks a little bit beefier, but not too much. Next we're going to go over the slides of each gun. First I'll cover the magazines because it's simple. The Glock is a steel magazine, polymer coated, pretty good design. The XDM is just a stainless steel magazine. Alrighty then, one thing I forgot is the magazine releases. The magazine release on the XDM is an ambidextrous steel magazine release with the mag catch right there in the magazine. The Glock is a polymer magazine release with the magazine catch right here. Okay. Now, the polymer is just fine. It's not, you know, crappy because your magazine lip or catches on there is polymer itself. Now, if you get a steel or an aluminum one, it's really going to eat at this lip right here after you use the magazine quite a bit. That's why I recommend just leave this as polymer. Alright, the slides. Now, as you can see here, the Glock utilizes a captive recoil spring. Now, people have said what's better, captive or non-captive. To be 100% honest, it really doesn't matter. In my opinion, both are equally reliable. It just depends on what you want. I mean, you can get non-captive kits for the Glock. The XDM here has a non-captive. I mean, I will give captive this. Captives are a lot easier to install than non-captives. But again, it doesn't, one isn't really better than the other. It's just two different manufacturing styles. Now, the Glock barrel here, take the snap cap out, is a forged steel barrel with Glock's own take on polyagonal rifling. It's not, like regular polyagonal. It's their own, patented style. Alright, the XDM barrel. Now I'm going to point out another thing I like about the XDM better than the Glock. The XDM has a match grade barrel from the factory. These guns are, they're button rifled, by the way, so just standard rifling. Fantastically accurate. At 25 meters I can group like this with the thing. It's just amazing. The Glock is a little bit more wider. I mean, but not a whole lot. I mean, a little bit. But still, XDM a little bit more accurate. As far as the extractors go, the extractor on the XDM, as you can see here, is just a piece of bar steel with an insert right in there. On the Glock, extractor is very easy to take out. I will give the Glock props for being able to be disassembled fully very easily. You can take the firing pin out and everything a lot easier on the Glock and the extractor out than you can on an XDM. On the XDM, you have to pound out this firing pin retainer, which is a roll pin in there, and you can't really take that in and take it out every time you clean it because you're going to have to get new roll pins. I take it out anyway. every time because I clean my guns a little bit more than I should. So I just buy a bunch of extra roll pins. Whatever. Firing pin safeties. Here, as you see in the Glock, right here, there's your firing pin safety. On your XDM, it's right back here. Now the firing pins on the firing pin in the Glock uses a rectangular firing pin, is where the Glock, or is where the XDM uses a standard round firing pin. Other than that, as far as differences in the slide goes, they both weigh about the same. I'd say the material density is about the same. Yeah. Back plates. Back plates. The striker plunger on the XDM is polymer, but the back plate is metal. The Glock has a plastic back plate reinforced with metal. Alright, the sights, I think I already went over that. Or no, I didn't. The sights. Polymer on the Glock, steel on the XDM. I love the sights on my XDM. They're amazing right from the factory. The Glock sights, I really do like. The tactical sights in the Glock, where it's just a cup and ball sight. I mean, that's very good for quick target acquisition. But the only downside is they're polymer. And I mean, if you drop the gun, it's high impact polymer, but if you drop it on, like, from a distance onto concrete, you are going to dent the sight, which is, what it is. But I'm going to get some, see if I can maybe get some steel sights in the same pattern here. Alright. As far as the Glock versus the XDM, the decision is yours to make on your own and which one you would like. But personally, if I could only have one or the other, I would. I mean, just personal preference here with the accuracy and what I'm able to shoot with it, I'd probably go with the XDM over the Glock. But then again, the Glock is a fantastic, world-renowned weapon. Both are fantastic, off-the-chart handguns for the price. The Glock's hard to beat, and XDM is hard to beat. The M&Ps, Smith & Wesson M&Ps, striker fired, as well as the FNS, which is the FN Herstal's version of the striker fired pistol, are very good handguns. It all comes just down to what you like, fit and feel. There are several things, like I said, that are better about each one, but in the end, I prefer the not by much, but just I do a lot of target shooting and competitive shooting, and for that I prefer the XDM, just because from the factory it's got a match grade barrel in it. I mean, I literally don't have to do anything to this gun to upgrade it for accuracy. The gun is literally, this is probably the most accurate stock semi-auto you can buy. For the price range of under $700. Now this will compete with Kimbers. I've outshot people with $1,400 customized Kimbers with this. I will outshoot them in accuracy. Now that will really piss off someone who has a $1,400 Kimber when they see a $600 XDM 45 out shooting their Kimber. It's actually kind of funny. But, accuracy with any handgun will degrade over time. Not a lot, but a little. Let me see what I'm at for time here in the video. Alright. But accuracy, like I said, over time will degrade with the gun. And you're not going to generally start to see this until after, you've put, you're not going to have a significant decrease in accuracy until you've put upwards of 8,000 rounds through the gun. I mean, then you might start to notice a little bit. I mean, just because, your barrel's wearing a little bit, barrel channel inside here, inside the slide is wearing a little bit, so, you might have a little bit of barrel wobble. But my best advice is, I see a lot of people that bring me guns to fix or clean, and I ask them, how many rounds do you put through the gun? Oh, I don't know, I maybe put about 700 through it. You ever clean it? No, it's clean when I got it. People who get a gun and shoot it right out of the box, never clean it, never clean the factory oil out and re-oil it. Something I always recommend doing is, I clean my gun whether I've shot 8 rounds through it, or whether I've shot 500 rounds through it at the range. Every single time I clean my gun. It's just a good habit to get into, and not only does it keep your accuracy for longer, but it prolongs the life of the gun as well. I mean, because you have no oil in there, you're having metal-to-metal contact, which is going to wear even more, especially on the barrel right here, where the barrel contacts the barrel canal inside the slide. Now, obviously, you're going to shoot, 20 rounds, and that oil is going to burn right out of there. All right, but what you don't have in there then is dirt. So, I mean, shit, I probably put, I want to say, a few hundred rounds through this thing here, and you can hardly tell. And the barrels on the XDMs are blued, and you can hardly tell. You can hardly see anywhere, just a tiny, tiny bit where the bluing's been scraped off, because I keep it oiled really nice. Now, you don't want to over-oil a gun, because you over-oil a gun, it's just going to jam up. Like the Glocks, the firing pin canal is not supposed to have oil in it. That's what that channel liner's for inside the firing pin. Or that inside the firing pin channel, there's a plastic channel liner in there. There's no need to oil. If you oil, you're just going to cause your gun to soak up a lot of dirt, and that firing pin is going to seize up. But, yeah, take care of your gun properly, lubricate it, and oil it after every time you shoot it, and your gun will last a long time. A lot of people are like, well, it shoots just fine, I don't really need to clean it until after about 1,000 rounds. No, you should clean your gun every time you shoot it. Yeah, it gets to be a little bit expensive. I mean, if you have like 40-something guns and you're cleaning them all the time, I do go through quite a bit of stuff, and I don't buy the cheap shit. I buy this M Pro 7 bore gel. This is about 12 bucks for this little bottle, but this, I'm telling you, this will get everything out of there, especially neglected firearms. Like if you got a neglected gun that hasn't been cleaned for about 1,000 rounds, this will get it right out for you. But yeah, you guys got any general comments or questions regarding these two pistols, or any cleaning questions, or disassembly questions, trigger part questions, full disassembly, anything like that, feel free to let me know and I will make a video for you. Spartan765 out.